there guys, you've got Sammy here, and today we're going to talk about working in rows again. So if you've watched the previous videos, you can see I've just done a row of treble crochet, half double and another row of treble. Now to add some interest to my scarf, I'm going to change colours. I'm going to change colours every 2 rows from here. So I don't want to have to weave in an end for every 2 rows. So I'm going to show you guys how to carry yarn up the side of a project. Now you will need to, of course, put a border down the side to cover up where we've carried the yarn, because it will be visible. But it is a really handy way if you're working on a face wash, a face washer, a scarf, anything really where you want to alternate the colour every couple of rows. The only thing with this method is, of course, you're going to need to keep it on even numbers, and that will make sense in a moment. So I've nearly finished my 3rd row here of treble crochet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my last stitch. You'll have to excuse my hands today. I've been working in my veggie garden, weeding and feeding and putting in a heap of strawberry plants for my boys. Alright, so I'm working into my turning chain, my last stitch of this row. I'm doing a treble crochet, so I'm going to yarn over and pull through twice. Basically just working whatever style stitch you're using. If you're doing a double, you'll only do that once, but you want 2 loops left on the hook, so you've nearly completed your stitch. Now rather than completing it with my first colour, I'm going to introduce my second colour. Not my preferred colour matches, but it's a really good way to show the difference between the two. So I'm just looping that yarn over my hook. So I've got a tail there and my working yarn. I've just looped it over my hook, and I'm going to pull that through to complete my last stitch. So I can adjust the tension with my tail and the tail from the grey. Now I'm just going to do a row of half double crochet, so I'll chain 2 and turn. You can see that stitch isn't quite sitting right. The tension's fine on my red. I'm just going to adjust the tension there with my purple, and then I'm going to work 2 rows all the way across. So we just loop the yarn over and complete our final stitch of the row with the new colour. And you can see there, our first red stitch is all red. Once I sort that tension out properly, our last purple stitch is all purple. It's a nice clean way to change colours. I'm going to leave you guys to work 2 rows of whatever stitch you are doing. Just stick with the same one. And I will meet you back here at the end of the 2nd row to show you how we carry that colour up rather than cutting it off, and introduce it back into our work after we've finished our rows of red. I'll see you all in a moment. Alright guys, we're back. I've worked my row of red. You can see a nice clean distinction between the colours for the rows, even right where we've started, and I've still got both of my yarns attached. So I'm going to do the same thing again that I did to attach the red in, and start doing treble crochets. Start working my final stitch into the top loop of the turning chain. When I've got 2 loops left, rather than finish, I'm just going to grab my yarn, even though it's still attached down here, pull it up and complete the stitch. So we're going to have that little carry on the end, but that's really quite easy to cover up. I will work another row of purple, and I'll meet you back here and show you how easy it is to cover up that carry when we're doing our final edging, because when we're doing a border, working over stitches anyway, so we can just work straight over the top of that yarn. I'll just work a row and I will meet you back here, and you can see again my final stitch in red is all red, and my first turning chain in purple will be all purple. Alright, I'll work those rows and I'll meet you back here to show you how to add a border over our carried yarn. One other thing to look at is if I had pulled this particularly tight, it's going to bunch my stitch up. So you want to keep that carried yarn not loose, just the same length as the stitches that you're working over. Alright, I'll meet you back here in a moment so we can do a border. I finished working those rows of purple again. You can see how nicely they sit with our colour changes. Now I've just changed back to red to do a little bit of a border. So I'm going to chain one, pop a single crochet in the same stitch. I'm just going to work a nice simple single crochet border. Now on a treble we do a chain of 4. So when we're doing a border down the side, we need to insert 4 single crochet. I'm just working over the top of the last stitch. Now we've got a half double crochet for this. That's what I've done for this particular bit. When we chain up to do a half double crochet, it's 2. So we'll put 2 single crochet into that stitch. And you can see I've worked over the top of the red there, so it is in no way visible on either side of our work once I add the border. I'm going to do the same over the purple where we've carried that yarn. Just move my working yarn behind. Obviously that wouldn't be attached if I had finished and we were doing our border for real. We're back to treble crochet, so 4 single crochet to cover the stitch height. Just working straight over the top of the yarn that we have carried. And then a half double, so 2 single crochet in that space. Alright, we've covered all our colour changes now. Obviously if I had finished I'd continue working my border all the way around and extending out the corners, but you can see there that that method of carry, while unsightly while we're working, is very easily covered up when you add your border to your work. I hope you found this colour change tutorial helpful. Until next time, have a fantastic day and happy hooking!